Today, we're diving deep into the captivating and multifaceted life of legendary actor Robert Conrad. Born Conrad Robert Falk on March 1, 1935, in Chicago, Illinois, Robert Conrad grew up in a neighborhood brimming with hardworking families, which helped shape his tough yet endearing personality. He wasn't born into fame or luxury. His father, Leonard Henry Falk, was a construction worker, and his mother, Jacqueline Hubbard, was a publicist. Interestingly, Jacqueline was a tremendous influence on Robert, and many say she played a pivotal role in sparking his eventual interest in show business. But life wasn't always a smooth ride for young Robert. His parents divorced when he was just a teenager, and he found himself navigating between two worlds, the structured working-class ethos of his father and the creativity inspired by his mother. As a young man, Robert Conrad wasn't instantaneously drawn to acting. Before breaking into Hollywood, he took up a variety of odd jobs to make ends meet. He worked as a milkman, a dock worker, and even held positions in factories. Despite these humble beginnings, Conrad always exuded a strong sense of resilience and drive, something that would later define his acting persona. But his career path started to take shape when he discovered his love for music. You might not know this, but Robert had an incredible voice. He moved to Los Angeles in the 1950s and worked alongside musicians like Dick Richards. Yes, Robert Conrad was a nightclub crooner long before he became the action star heartthrob we all know today. Conrad's entry into Hollywood came when Warner Brothers spotted him. They recognized he wasn't just another good-looking face in a city filled with them. He had a rugged charisma and an unrelenting work ethic. His acting debut was in 1958 on Warner Brothers' weekly TV show Hawaiian Eye, where he played Detective Tom Lopaka. The role showcased his suave demeanor and solidified him as one of TV's rising stars. Harvard dropout-turned-actor Robert Conrad soon became a household name, but the journey didn't stop there. By the mid-60s, Robert scored what turned out to be the most iconic role of his career, James T. West in The Wild Wild West. This was no ordinary show. It was filled with gadgets, spy thriller plots, and action-packed Western adventures. Fun fact, Conrad did many of his own stunts, earning a reputation as one of the bravest and perhaps craziest actors in Hollywood. He took immense pride in performing daring feats, which sometimes landed him in trouble, including a few on-set injuries. It didn't diminish his star power. In fact, it only amplified it. But Conrad wasn't just content with being a star of TV. He wanted control, influence, and the ability to make a difference in the industry. He co-created The Duke, a show based on a boxer turned private investigator. The character bore some resemblance to Conrad himself, tough, no-nonsense, and perpetually driven. Conrad also stepped into the realm of directing and producing, further proving that his talents didn't begin and end in front of the camera. Off-screen, Robert Conrad was a family man. He fathered 8 children across 2 marriages. His first marriage to Joan Kenley lasted nearly 30 years and brought 5 children into the world. They later divorced, and in 1983, he married Lavelle DeFan, a union that brought him another 3 children. Robert was often described as a dedicated and involved father. He taught his children resiliency and discipline, perhaps the same qualities he himself had cultivated during his tough childhood years. His family meant a great deal to him, and several of his kids followed in his entertainment footsteps. His daughter, Nancy Conrad, became an actress, while others ventured into production behind the scenes. There was another side to Conrad's life that's worth mentioning, his passion for advocacy work. A longtime supporter of veterans, Robert worked tirelessly to raise awareness and funds for military-related initiatives. His years playing heroic roles on screen translated into real-world contributions. He also championed rights for performers, especially in public events and stunts. Conrad was a voice for the unsung heroes of Hollywood, many of whom never got the recognition or safety nets he felt they deserved. Now, let's turn our attention to some lesser-known and surprising aspects of his life. Did you know that Conrad was actually fluent in Spanish and loved the culture? This often came as a surprise to friends and fans alike. He also enjoyed boxing and spent a considerable amount of time in the ring as a young man, well before his days as an actor. It's easy to see where he got the physicality and toughness required for many of his later action-packed roles. Standing at 5'8", there's no denying that Robert Conrad didn't fit the typical Hollywood mold concerning height. However, he carried himself with such immense confidence and energy that his presence on screen often made him seem larger than life. At his peak, he weighed around 175 pounds, maintained through a strict fitness regimen. His focus on health and mobility, even in his later years, was a testament to his ironclad willpower. Many fans have wondered about his personal beliefs. Robert Conrad identified as Roman Catholic and often spoke about how his faith provided him with a moral compass throughout his journey. Additionally, when it comes to his nationality, Conrad was undeniably proud of his American roots, hailing from Polish and German descent. Regarding his net worth, it's believed that by the time of his passing in 2020, he left behind an impressive fortune. Estimates of his financial legacy range between $5 and $10 million, accumulated through decades of hard work in acting, producing, and directing. For all his fame, Robert remained a complex and charismatic personality, equally adored and respected by his peers. His private life wasn't without challenges. However, he managed to maintain dignity and grace under pressure. Interestingly, Conrad rarely spoke publicly about his sexuality beyond his sexuality, preferring to keep his personal life private. Robert Conrad passed away at the age of 84 on February 8, 2020, of heart failure in Malibu, California. But even in his final years, he remained a symbol of determination, grit, and resilience. Fans and critics alike continue to celebrate his remarkable contributions to TV and film. His enduring legacy is one of an independent thinker, an artist who not only entertained but also inspired. So, when you think of Robert Conrad, think of a man who defied expectations at every turn. He wasn't just an actor, he was a singer, a stuntman, a director, a father, and a relentless advocate. His life story remains a testament to hard work, creativity, and passion, and that's why Robert Conrad's name will forever be etched in Hollywood history.